Hello and welcome to the next episode in my Talespire Beta Tips and Tricks series, where I hopefully show you some nice little tips and tricks that you can use in the Talespire Beta, or if you're watching this after early access, can use there. Obviously there will be things that change by the time we get to early access, but hopefully this will still be relevant and useful. If not, I will probably make more videos at that point in time to highlight those new features. But for now, in this video, we're going to go and look at the clipping tool so that we can see how to arrange things a little bit differently from the normal use. So we're going to go ahead and begin, and we're going to go into the My Test Campaign and play. Okay, so in here we can see this map. Now I want to show you this map because this is something I talked about in a previous episode where I talked about creating replicas or attempting to recreate 2D maps. And I have an example map here that I found on the internet, and this is something that I would love to do if anyone is interested and finds maps that they would like to see me attempt to recreate them actually on camera. I will do my best to do so, but I wanted to give it a practice run, so I took this map that you see on the left over my face, and I attempted to recreate it with the tools that are currently available in the Talespire Beta. Now, one problem with this map, as you can see, kind of as I move around, the pathways, well, they don't stay as well defined, and that is because attempting to recreate this curving path was very difficult because as of yet there is no ability to turn pathways to 45-degree angles or any tiles to 45-degree angles, or smooth them out better, and all the pathway tiles are 2x2. So using a combination of corner pathways, straight pathways, the T-shaped pathways for 3 directions, and the 4-way intersection pathways, I did my best to try to create a pathway, and the pathway itself doesn't look the greatest, but it works. And to accomplish that, I did have to use the clipping tool. Additionally, you'll notice these raised hilltops that have rocks and then grass growing on the top. Well, if you'll notice, the edges of these raised hilltops all look nice and blended in with the rocks, with the exception of this spot right here, which I left on purpose so that you could see. You can also kind of see it right there a little bit. Because this is a square tiles and they do have some depth to them, when I first put this together, I actually used this particular tile from the nature section, which is the cliff face tile, which you can see here. I used this to kind of build up the level. I said, yeah, that probably about 1 cliff face high will look good, and that's what I built it with. But after making that 1 cliff face high and then putting the grass on top to try to match my sample map that I pulled up, I noticed that everything looked really blocky on top, the grass especially, because I had this blocky edge of the grass. Well, I wanted to blend it in, so how can I do that? Well, while I'm in build mode, up here I have this toggle clipping, okay, which you guys can see right up here near the top of the screen. Looks like a little kind of caution or warning sign. When I click on that, notice it gives me a warning, says turning on clipping allows you to clip your tiles by hold down shift, but it could break the game, so it's not recommended. Well, you want to make sure that if you're using this, you're aware that that's the case. So the creators of Talespire have put that in. However, in order to make things look smoother and nicer and create, clipping can be a really, really good tool. But you're going to need to use a combination of clipping and what we've talked about before with our slider bar here, positioning the grid. And let's actually turn on the grid. Here's that toggle grid so we can see the grid. Positioning the grid at various heights so that you can get the height of the tiles that you're, or props or whatever that you're inserting, to be at the right spot so that they come in the way you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to position my grid so that I am below the level of this grass tile here, but at a height where hopefully when I start putting rocks, which I'm going to be using these large boulders in, that they will blend in fairly well, kind of like the ones you see here at the top where they're sticking through a little bit and they're covering up that edge. So let's go ahead and grab that boulder. And now, while I'm on this level of the grid that I have set, if I hold down the shift key, I can now move this boulder and it will stay at that level, so I can move it where I want. And I'm going to put it right on this square here, and you'll see how it's sticking up above that grass tile, and it's covering that little corner of the edge. Now, I'm not really thrilled with the position that one's in, so I'm going to hold down shift to pick it up. So I picked it back up. I've let go of the shift, so now I'm holding it. I'm going to rotate it with that center mouse wheel, if it will let me. I always have trouble with it going. There we go. Because I like that position maybe. Let's take a look at the others. Oh, that one's pretty good too. You know what? Let's go with this right here. This right here. So I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to place it once again right here. Okay, I like that. That one's not too bad. Let's kind of spin around. And that's kind of covering up that edge decently. All right. So let's grab another one of those. And let's put that next to it. So once again, I'm going to come out here, hold down shift to keep it at the same level, and I'm going to put it there. Alright, so that's kind of covering up that corner now. Oh, what about in the middle? Well, here, let's spin this around a little bit more to make it different again. And now, hold down shift and move it right there to cover that up. Alright, I've now kind of covered up that edge, softens it up a little bit. And if I desire, I can bring my grid level back down and I can fill out up to this point to make that blend in a little better so it's not giving this overhang look. This will help you to create maps that are a little more smooth looking, a little more realistic, not so blocky, but still completely playable. I can still put minis on here. Let's grab us a hero. I'll grab our friend the barbarian. I can still put that mini on here, exit out of the build mode, and have that guy walking around wherever he wants to go, you know, climbing up on here. And let's move down so we can see. So he's climbed up onto this, and again, by holding down shift and using the arrow keys, I can move that guy one square at a time. So he's now playing around on this map. And I get that added benefit of the height of the map. Okay, so that is this episode of Talespire Beta Tips and Tricks. In the next episode, I will go ahead and explore a little bit more about some of the other features in the Talespire Beta. Perhaps we'll take a look at some of the different tiles, maybe go in depth on some of them a little bit. But if you have a suggestion of something you'd like to see in this tips and tricks series, please put it in the comments and let me know. As well, if you would like to see me try to recreate a 2D map in a 3D set like this in Talespire, please let me know what you'd like to see. If you've got an idea for a map you want me to try, go ahead and put that, a link to it in there. I'll have to kind of search through because apparently links in the comments are a little squirrely. But go ahead and put some kind of reference to it or a link, and I'll find that map, and then I'll make a video on recreating that in Talespire. And I'll make sure to mention you if you're someone who goes ahead and submits a map for that. But that's going to be it for this video. So until next time, I'll see you around. Bye.